Your genuine nature shines a light on their daily masks. Instead of facing that reality, they pour their anger onto you, hating that you aren't afraid to live in your fullness. They've spent their whole existence pretending to be satisfied, pretending to be brave, pretending they've got it all figured out. Then you arrive, showing them what it means to be genuinely real, and it rattles them to the core. You don't have to compete. You don't have to attack. Your very being, lived at full power, is enough to tear down their facade. That's why they whisper in corners, spread falsehoods, and try to tarnish your image. They want to keep you small. They need you to doubt yourself. They want you to question your own light. But here's the truth. They aren't really fighting you. They're at war with themselves. They've spent so long running from their own reflections, dodging the emptiness within, creating an identity around illusions. All those cracks are obvious. So they do what they've always done, project their self-hate onto you. They'll call you overconfident because they don't grasp self-belief. They'll call you lucky because they don't understand the discipline behind success. They'll label you as strange because they don't comprehend what it means to be chosen. Let them say what they will. Nothing changes who you truly are. They'd prefer you dim your brightness, shrink down, make yourself small so they can feel in control. Why should you lower your glow just because they can't handle the brightness? Their discomfort is not your responsibility. If your light blinds them, they can turn away. If your energy overwhelms them, they can move aside. But never, ever lessen yourself for their comfort. And here's a hidden truth. They don't truly hate you. They envy you. They want the kind of clarity you have, your inner might, your ability to stand strong through every trial they set up, while they remain stuck in their own self-made cages. They wish they weren't addicted to people's approval. They wish they could act without anxiety holding them back. But rather than learning from you, they choose to tear you down, because it's easier to destroy than to improve themselves. Let them carry the load of their own envy. Let them sink into their bitterness.
With the narcissistic karmic familial dynamic, they'll do everything in their power to oppress you, while reactive abuse, telling everybody that you're the problem. You're the issue, you're incompetent, you can't do anything by yourself, you're a liability, you always need them for something, they're taking care of you. Yet here you are. What you didn't know is it made you a star. What you didn't know is it made you a star. Something you never asked to be, but you always knew you were destined to be. You just didn't know that this is what would lead to you being recognized. You being in your North Node. You are so very powerful. And this is a reminder of the power you hold to change this world. Your tree is bearing a lot of fruits. Your intellectual, intuitive abilities. You've got individuals, CIA, this could be federales, individuals that don't know how you see what you see, and the only explanation is you are truly divinely led and you are a genius. You're a lot smarter than you let on. A lot smarter than you let on. You see things coming before you see things coming. Very intelligent. You overcoming these obstacles and being able to see through all of this has individuals gobsmacked. The divine really loves you and is communicating to you and keeping you in your North Node. You sacrificed everything to be this. It's like a sacrificial lamb, except you were not a sacrifice to these individuals. You were a sacrifice to the divine. It's no mystery now who you are and who protects you. There have been individuals from your past. These are individuals that thought that your divine protection was a mockery. They didn't believe until you made them believers by the judgment they are facing. They figured out who the weakest link was, and the weakest link is the one that's getting hit with massive backfires and losing their motherfucking medulla. Somebody here is obsessively, I got it, I could do this, trust me, we can get this. Like somebody is like being a fucking mess. Trying to save their own ass, but like their energy is reading all. Like everybody is peeping what's happening to this individual that's like losing it, possibly not even sleeping at night or getting a few hours of sleep in order to continuously combat you. This has nothing to do with love, but everything to do with love. It's the way that you are loved, the way that you love life, the way that you experience gratitude for everything. These individuals needed that heart energy. They needed the love you hold within you in order to access a new beginning that they have been blocked out of. Like Illuminati, Freemasons, Eastern Stars, whatever you want to call it. You are illuminating the Illuminati. Woo! illuminating the Illuminati. Because there were ties here where individuals within certain organizations have never failed when they have come up against unsuspecting victims, is what I heard. And in the way that they felt like they were all seeing, had all occult knowledge, your eyes were much bigger. There are elite individuals that are, in order to make some type of amends, they're going after the individual that lied about you and threw you under the bus in order to get you up out of here. Yep, and this individual is not sleeping. So all eyes are on you and how you have, like I said, in this desert, created an oasis. These people were running their motherfucking mouth and now they got to eat their motherfucking words. Everybody had something to say about you and now their lies have been exposed because of how much better you have gotten. Individuals would be enlightened through your experience, ascension, and evolution. How many individuals would be able to save themselves by listening, by following, by taking note, and seeking? You helped a lot of souls find themselves. Look at your power. There is no taking your power. There's no siphoning it. There's no swapping it. It's yours. You were destined and ordained to be this star because of how many souls you're going to be leading into enlightenment. How many souls are going to be inspired and activated by what you have overcome and what you are sharing as a truth speaker. You didn't just go through all of this for nothing, but you know that. Because your life getting better, your life coming from nothing, like rags to riches, like you pulling in these timelines and you co-creating within this simulation a high vibrational timeline would hinder these individuals. You as a co-creator are able to speak life and death over situations, which is why you having control over your mind, you have control over this matrix. You have control over this simulation. You are not only a master alchemist, but you are a master co-creator of timelines. We are duality. We needed to experience this darkness to really understand the light. And this is what these individuals never anticipated, is not only you overcoming this, but how many individuals would follow you. How many individuals would be enlightened through your experience, ascension, and evolution. You are the one, the chosen one.
They built their world on stolen trust, every block lifted from someone else's foundation, and now it's all tumbling down, right when the cosmic scales demand balance. There's a unique kind of anguish reserved for those who confuse kindness with weakness. They laughed when they took advantage of you, believed they were above consequence when they twisted your trust. But each deceit, every betrayal, is circling back like a well-aimed boomerang, and it's hitting them where they least expect. Their smug self-assurance told them they were beyond any payback, but the universe observed every move, and now it's their turn to quake in fear. You've never been weak, you've always been patient. The cosmic realm marked you, not as someone easy to push around, but as a force meant to crack the foundations of anyone who tried to tear you down. That's why, even now, they tremble. They can't sleep because their conscience doesn't just remind them of wrongdoings, it reminds them their time is almost up. Carrying the power of the chosen means just your presence alone gets under the skin of those who built their existence on falseness. Their shoulders tense at your name. Their confidence falters the second they see you because, deep down, they sense the universe keeping track. Now they notice little hints pointing to their downfall, unexpected troubles, random failures, out-of-the-blue obstacles. It's not random misfortune, it's the overdue bill they never thought they'd have to settle. Karma is more than poetic payback. It's precise, unstoppable, and unrelenting. It waits until the perfect moment, then strikes with surgical accuracy. It dismantles their illusions blow by blow. Watch how swiftly their own glee fades when the shadows they created turn on them. Their so-called triumphs were illusions. Their power was nothing but borrowed sparks. Watch how the universe does what it does best. Restore balance without pity, without discounts.
And your light? It cannot be put out. They tried to break you, to turn you into something else, but you never bent, never backed down. And as long as you remain, the very foundation they built their world upon continues to shift. Reality begins now. There is something within you, something undeniable, something that defies logic. It turns heads, makes people uneasy, shakes even the most calculated minds. You don't blend in, you never have. There's something about you that disrupts the natural order, not because you try to, just because you exist. And for those who operate in the shadows, who thrive on control and deception, your presence is more than just an anomaly, it's an obsession. They thought they could predict you, mold you, manipulate you into something familiar. But they were wrong. You are not what they expected. And that alone has changed everything. They have seen the strong, the pure-hearted, the fearless. They've broken the will of warriors and lured in the unsuspecting. But with you, something is different. You do not react the way they have seen before. There is no fear, no hesitation, no submission. Instead, there is something in your eyes, something deep, something unshakable. And that, more than anything, terrifies them.
They've watched you make it out of things that would have taken the strongest individual out. Not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. Impossible for you to do what you have done. And all of these you've learned how to navigate. All the traps that were set before you to fall in, you found a way to levitate over them. And they're like, how the fuck are they doing this? Which is why they're looking at you going, all right, the divine must lead this energy. The divine must protect this energy because there was no way around this. There was no way they should have overcame this. With the power of your mind and your divine connections. This is why you've got a lot of individuals in a position of power terrified of you. Because you keep building. And not only did you make something out of nothing, you made everything out of nothing. And you're inspiring so many individuals that have been watching you. That got these individuals stressed because you're heavily protected. Again, you're being observed. You're being monitored. And these individuals that have been monitoring you have been attempting to test different things on you to see what would work because of the influence you have in this realm and how everything that was meant to cage you, box you, you break out of. You are an uncontrollable beast. An entity unseen, an unidentified entity. You're like a ghost in this simulation with the way that you're able to move in between realms and dimensions and move out of certain firewalls, certain blockades to keep you from success, keep you from being seen, keep you from being an inspiration. You sharing your testimony after everything you've been through, it's going to shock the world, but it's meant to. This is also one of the things that was put in place within your experience to put you in a position of leadership and recognition.
They came at you with the same tricks, the same weapons, temptation, deception, psychological warfare, but nothing works. Their tactics crumble in your presence. You do not fall into their traps because you never step into them in the first place. They expected a battle, a reaction, a downfall. Instead, they met something they cannot understand: stillness, a quiet force so powerful that it leaves them powerless. What you carry within you is not just strength, it's something beyond that. It's not resistance, it's inevitability. Their entire foundation trembles, not because you fight them, but because in your presence, they lose significance. What you possess is not opposition, it is revelation. They are not breaking you. They are the ones unraveling. They thought they could remain indifferent, unaffected, untouched by you, but instead they are drawn in. Like wanderers chasing a mirage, they keep coming back, unable to look away. Roles have shifted in ways they never imagined. What once was a pursuit has turned into something far more dangerous, an addiction, a fascination that borders on desperation. You stand firm while they begin to fall apart, and as they fall, a deeper truth emerges. They are no longer the ones in control. They are no longer the hunters. They are the ones being pulled into something they never expected. Truth does not ask for permission. It does not wait to be accepted. It simply arrives, undeniable, unstoppable.
You are to be feared because you are not controllable. They cannot manipulate your mind. And you keep growing. They've never seen something like you. The things that you've been able to do and unlock within yourself. The way that you are able to use your mind to manipulate this simulation.
You were never meant to fit into their mold. You have a purpose that the world cannot contain, and now you are being called to embrace it fully. As this realization sets in, the past begins to unfold before you in a way you never noticed before. The memories you hold, the experiences you've lived, they are not just moments in time. They are reflections of a wisdom that has always been with you. It's as if your soul carried these truths long before you even lived them. The world is not what it seemed. The people around you, some supportive, some destructive, were never just random encounters. They were all part of this grand design, pushing you forward toward the truth. Every attack, every trick, only strengthened your defenses. When they couldn't manipulate your thoughts, they tried to twist your emotions, hoping to make you doubt yourself. They believed that fear, pain, or loneliness would weaken your spirit, but they never understood that your emotions were never a weakness. They were always the source of your greatest strength. Your emotions have built a foundation of resilience far stronger than they ever expected. The energy within you flows with a power they could never predict. And now, you stand before them as something beyond their understanding. They never imagined you could hold this kind of awareness, an awareness that reaches beyond their limitations. You've become a force that shapes itself, a mind that strengthens through sheer will, completely outside their control. They see now that stopping you is impossible. They've thrown every obstacle in your path, tried every trick to break you, yet here you stand, unshaken, unbreakable, untouchable. They don't understand how your strength continues to rise, how no matter what they do, you rebuild, you recover, and you come back stronger than before. In those moments, something inside you sparked. That was the first sign of the power they feared.
Take a moment to think about some of the most famous figures in history, or even in pop culture. Martin Luther King Jr., Princess Diana, Michael Jackson. They were all chosen in their own way. They didn't try to attract attention, it found them. And with that attention came admiration, but also judgment and envy. People either loved them or hated them, but no one could ignore them. Have you ever noticed how someone might copy the way you talk, dress, or even the way you think? At first it might feel flattering, but over time, it starts to feel strange, like they're trying to become you instead of being themselves. And on the flip side, there are the critics, the ones who nitpick everything you do, as if they're waiting for you to slip up. Here's the kicker. They're not doing it because you're wrong. They're doing it because your existence challenges them. It makes them uncomfortable. If they call you too much or not enough, it's because they feel inadequate in some way. If they nitpick your choices, it's because your confidence makes them question their own. And when they see you thriving, it feels like a threat, even though it's not. But not everyone falls neatly into the supporter or critic category. Some people are just curious. They're the neutral observers, the ones who watch your life unfold like a movie. They're not emotionally invested, but they're fascinated by the story. To them, you're like the star of a film they didn't expect to love. They don't know how it's going to end, but they can't look away. Maybe it's because your life feels unpredictable, like you're always one step ahead of the plot. Or maybe it's because you're living a version of life they didn't know was possible. This curiosity isn't always harmless, though. Neutral observers can sometimes stir the pot, spreading half-truths or speculations just to see how it all plays out. They're not trying to hurt you, they're just caught up in the drama, like spectators at a game they're not playing. All of this support, criticism, curiosity, it boils down to one thing. You're impactful. You're not a background character in anyone's story, you're the lead. And that kind of presence forces people to react, whether they mean to or not.
You will sense it, because some individuals are praying that you go off of what you see. And they were getting real creative, praying that they would be able to stop the divine revolutionary leader you are.
People are looking to you for guidance, inspiration, and leadership. They might not say it out loud, but they're watching how you move, how you handle challenges, how you rise after you fall. And that's the key. Being a chosen one isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about owning your flaws, your mistakes, and your journey, and showing others that it's okay to be human. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes you magnetic. Not your perfection, but your ability to keep going, to keep shining, even when the odds are against you. It's a mix of love, hate, admiration, and misunderstanding. Let's break this down psychologically. Why do people react so strongly to chosen ones? It's simple. Scarcity mindset. When someone sees something rare, their instinct is to either protect it or attack it. You're like a rare diamond in a sea of ordinary stones. For some, that inspires them to cherish you, to lift you up. For others, it triggers their insecurities. They see what they lack reflected in your light, and instead of working on themselves, they try to dim your shine. And then there's admiration. People are drawn to chosen ones because they represent something bigger than themselves. You're not just a person, you're a symbol of potential, strength, and possibility. Even if they don't fully understand why, they see in you what they wish they could see in themselves. And that can be scary for some people. But here's the thing, none of this is about them. It's about you. You didn't ask for this role, but it's yours. The question is, what are you going to do with it? A sign that you're here to make an impact. You see, being chosen isn't just about the attention you get. It's about the responsibility that comes with it. Whether you realize it or not, people are looking to you for guidance, inspiration, and leadership.
Heavy hitter in this realm. And you're not stopping. You're a world awakener. And I really finally understand what that means now. I've had a deeper understanding of what that indicates. You are here. You were placed here intentionally. Because the divine always knew the darker, corrupt elites in a perceived position of power would fuck up. And would try to turn this planet into a slave planet. Enslave the masses and harness energy and the masses' minds for their benefit. What you've been activated to do. And what's coming through. It's always been for you. If you had made the decision to accept your journey, if you had made the decision to accept this destiny, because you had many timelines, many pathways, many doors, but you chose this one. You chose you, the real you, what you had always been placed within this realm to do. And that is the hardest journey of all time. As an architect, as a balancer and equalizer, basically an avenging angel incarnate. This journey was not meant to be easy because of all the activations that were necessary for what you came here to do, if you chose to. And whatever was recently directed towards you has activated just another part of you. Another necessary part for the next level. And how many individuals you're meant to reach with the accumulation of energy you've alchemized. You started a revolution, and you were meant to. And this is why you got karmics crashing out, because they don't fully understand you. They don't fully understand why this is not working, and they don't understand why you're still receiving these blessings. And maybe with this message, the cross watchers will finally understand that this was inevitable. That there was always going to come a time where this was meant to happen because of what we are meant to do. This backfired upon them to where events from your past are being corrected. That's going to put you in a position of virality. It's going to put you in a position to further be heard and seen for the miracle you are. With what you are opening up about. Some of you, what you're testifying about when it pertains to what was done to you. And how shocked people are going to be that, like, you not only made it through this, your testimony, your harvest.